Alu going in with a classic Min Min. Stepping into the ring with a Sparky and Ram Ram. Yoshi gonna go in. He's got a Siki and Slap-a-Mander in tow. Two very classic arms for Yoshi Bowser. Two things that he really enjoys utilizing. Round 2 does not play yet, no. Oh no. This is a start. Arrest indeed. Kojara quit, not necessarily because of any main problems, but just on the fact that he had a lot of schoolwork and life that he needed to tend to. So he just didn't really have time to play ARMS. And just gonna check on a couple of things. Okay. We'll take a moment. And now, we're just waiting for Alu to reply. Guessing it was just some connection hiccup issue. We should be good. We should be good. I'm gonna hope that we're good. Yeah, okay, yeah, he was with... It was the army. Yeah, he's still with that. He might come back around then, but we'll have to see. We'll see what happens. And we are going to have the 14th Scrapstar Series commence. Alumento going Sparky, Popper, and Ram Ram. Yoshi Bowser going in with the Slap and Siki. Starting things off, Alu going in double Sparky, gonna try to just box through these two arms and bark. And is going to be able to succeed, gets a bit of light damage, and finds an opportunity to get that Dragon Arm. Going to get quickly caught off by that Siki explosion though, dealing some arm damage and immediately stunning Alu. Both players going back and forth, so far holding about even. Bark helping out with some of the trades, getting a couple of quick pokes in. Alu very focused on just going after Yoshi Bowser, isn't too worried about Bark and those little extra punches that he's been throwing out. Rush is gonna come out, just barely manages to connect, and Alu gonna take Yoshi down to critical health after 260 damage. Gonna be able to make that Rush connect, gets 360, a lot of damage there, and both players basically at critical now after some very strong Rush exchanges. Gets another blast in, and Yoshi now looking for one more hit to take Alu down, and it's gonna be a hot slap.
Attention.
Heading into this next round. Oh, God. Heading into this next round, both players choosing to stick with their main loadouts. Alimento finally finding an opportunity off of one of these stunts to get a grab combo. And that's going to put him in a stronger position with that Dragon Arm, but quickly loses it to another Siki explosion. Bark smacking down Alimento, being able to charge up their punches alongside Bite and Bark. It allows for some really scary combos and setups, and just those side pokes there too. A lot of people just aren't ready for them to kind of come out from the side. That is going to be a very strong rush. 200 damage. Not going to be able to follow up with the Mander or a second volley, but still managing to get a decent amount of damage. Both players very even on health again. But Alimento gonna get stunned out, and that's gonna be a KO. Yoshi Bowser taking the first game. Oh cool, I forgot to fix up the overlay.
You're under arrest. Long arms of the law.
Wait, Tom? By the way, I didn't really say respond or anything. Like, I'm doing alright. I've been working through a lot of stuff. There's a lot of chaos going on in the world for me. I'm trying to make through with what I can. But, yeah, it's life. What can I say? What can you do? Heading into our next match. Now we're going to try to take us somewhere a little more up close and personal via Dolce. This could be a very tricky place, as this has a lot more narrow of a hallway. There's so much less room to really work with. If Alu is able to corner Yoshi Bowser, he can get pinned down really hard. This also means that Bark has a lot less freedom to move around, which means that Alu might have an easier time being able to get some good aim and some strong shots in at him. Starting things off, Alu switching over to the Ram Ram, gonna have it on the non-dragon arm. Gonna force it to stay a lot smaller, but that instant knockdown and being able to hit Bark in the process is going to be very beneficial. Starting things off though, beyond this couple of knockdowns, Yoshi Bowser holding onto a light lead and is effectively pushing Alu back into the corner. Though Alu slowly starting to find their way out and is starting to pressure Yoshi Bowser. Trying to find a way in and end up slipping into the other side of the map. Not really finding any solid ground to really work with. Gonna be able to... Going to be able to avoid the Mander though. Alimento just very narrowly making a very important dodge just to keep themselves in this game. Another stun into a grab, and that's going to be some tempo Alimento might be looking for. Gets another grab and is now just a rush from taking Yoshi Bowser down. Tries to set up, gets the knockdown. Just a little bit more damage, and there comes it. The rush gets cancelled by Bark. Yoshi Bowser quickly charging up another rush and is trying to set himself up so he can use it, but a Slap-O-Mander is going to be able to knock Alu down. After all that, a very unfortunate end as Bark, the goodest of boys, saves Yoshi Bowser yet again. Alimento almost had an amazing comeback off of that one dodge from the Mander. But it just wasn't enough. Feisty Doggo Boy will punch down any rushes, any attacks. As if you position yourself so that Bark is not hit, he's probably gonna hit you, and then you'll lose your rush. But this is gonna work out for Alimento. Gets the 335 off of the rush and starts getting a little bit of strong tempo. Gets a nice grab. Bark quickly trying to close in the distance and is going to try to pincer Alu, but Alu just getting some nice pressure, these good hits. Gonna get caught out by that rush though. That's gonna be 380 damage. Alu not able to get the grab off of that confirm as Bark saves his master, but not long enough, as another chain of attacks is going to allow Alu to bring the score to 1-1. Diving straight into this next round. Alu starting off with the first hit and is going to knock Bark down in the process, giving themselves a little bit of breathing space from the barrage that Bark possesses. Tries to set up for another rush. Going to be able to connect that wide range of the Ram Ram, allowing Alu to connect for 245 damage and gets a stun into a punish. Aluminto starting off with some very strong momentum here is finally going to get knocked down by Yoshi Bowser, but still in a very strong position and is just looking to do a little bit more damage to take Yoshi down. One more Ram Ram is going to be enough, and that brings our score to 1-1. Lol, I don't judge my bracket descriptions. They're very important bracket descriptions. Baby strap. They're very important, okay? It's a great way to communicate with the participants so that they know which matches are being streamed. It's master strategy. It's big brain plays like that that allow this stream to be as efficient as possible. Yeah, Alu's doing a remarkable job considering, to our knowledge at least, this is probably the first time in a very long while since Alu might have played ARMS. Diving right into our next match, Yoshi gonna take us to a counter pick or a response, going straight back to the sparring ring. It worked out very exceptionally well for him, but it might have been just the fact that he was dealing with double Sparky and he just had an easy time working around that. Where now with that Ram Ram on the field, it's helping Alu just take Bark down so many more times, get some really good punishes, and just strong pressure. Starting things off, both players relatively close to each other on health, trading blows back and forth. Yoshi's going to be the first one ready with Rush, but it's going to be Alumental who throws theirs first, connects for 305, and is now just looking for a little bit more damage to get the confirm. That explode, the Slapamander lifted Alu just high enough that the Siki did not blow them out. And that's going to allow Alu to survive like 200, 300 more potential damage that could have came along from there. That wouldn't have made a difference though, as Alu was able to find a little bit more damage in the end and takes the round. Yoshi Bowser going to make an adjustment to his loadout, puts the Siki down, and he's going to work a little bit more with the Megawatt. Alu going to be able to find a nice grab. It's going to start closing and get some good pressure. Trying to get some more damage in there. Capitalizing on the fear that Yoshi has right now. Preventing Yoshi from really being able to use that rush. And just narrowly staying out of the way of Yoshi's rush. Yoshi missing pretty harsh. And that's going to allow Elemento just to keep this momentum, this pressure up. But Yoshi Bowser going to be able to slip right out of the rush. And continues on with this onslaught. Megawatt going to be able to connect. Yoshi start bringing Alu to critical health, and that Manner's going to connect. Megawatt just a little too slow is going to prevent Yoshi Bowser from being able to get that, but he does get a Slapamander at the end, bringing the score to 1-1 on this round. Heading right into our next match. Alu going to start off just slightly on top, is not able to get that Dragon Arm just yet, but is focusing on trying to find some manner of a knockdown and confirm with that Sparky, but is not going to be able to follow it up. Tries to set up for the rush, but a Slapamander is going to be able to quickly knock Mento down. The rush going to connect for 305, and now Yoshi in a pretty rough place, already at critical health. Alu still has the vast majority of theirs, still retaining a lot of health. Trying to set something up, trying to get out of the way of some of these attacks, this pressure. But Yoshi's starting to push back and is pressuring Alu, and that rush is going to be enough. Yoshi taking Alumento down 2-1, and we'll be moving on in the brackets.
All bark, all bite.
That first little hiccup aside, I think that was a really great first match for the stream. That was actually really fun. Good games. Both players with some impeccable plays there. I love that pressure. I love those setups. Yoshi is so good with the Siki. I love it. Wasn't critical health a meme? I don't know. I like to use critical nowadays. Maybe it was a meme? I completely missed that meme if it was. Alright. So heading into our next batch of matches, I'm going to ask the community once again, what would you like to see streamed? Our first match, which you would type 5 for, is Rifa vs. Yoshi Bowser. If you type 3, that would be for Penzo vs. Yam. If you type 6, that is Iceman vs. Oklim. And if you type 4, that would be Shetty facing off against Kosalina. You may vote for yourself. Alright, we got a 4, we got a 6, we got a 3. We have 2 4s. We have 2 6s! Which means that it's either Iceman and Okrim, or it's gonna be Shetty and Kosa. What's the flavor of the month? We got another 4. 3. You already voted! Kosa, you already voted! Penzo changes from 6 to a 4? Well, then another 6. I'm pretty sure 4 is in the advantage here. Benson, stop cheating! Shetty? Shetty, are you in Discord? Shetty, I need you in the Discord. Please join the Discord. Oh, Shatty! Oh! I see. You're being clever. Alright. Oh, I'm gonna pin you anyways. I see, you're being clever. You're doing the Riffa Raffa thing. All over the place. And yeah, everybody else in round 2 is now free to go. That means Riffa and Yoshi Bowser, Penzo versus Yam, Iceman versus Okrim. All players are set to go. To report on a previous match as well, Okrim was able to take Mr. Christie down 2-0. Christie will be facing off against the loser of Penzo vs. Yam, and Alumento will be facing off the loser of Shetty and Kosalina. So we're just waiting for Shetty, Shetty, Shadshi, Shade. There they are. And We'll just have Kosalina join through Shetty. Oh wait, I forgot. It's Shetty trademark. Bam. Trademarked. So we've seen a little bit of these two players. Shetty actually taking second place. Shaddy. Okay. Shaddy. Is it meant to be pronounced that way? Is there like going to be... Okay. Is it all Shaddy? Or is it spelled Shetty and pronounced Shaddy? I should probably clarify that so I know what I'm doing. Or is this a joke? Or no, I'm sorry, is this a meme? Is it just Shaddy? Do you want me to spell it Shaddy as well? Slim Shaddy. There you go. Okay, so we are going to be going to Buster Beach for this match. Words are very wacky, yes. Shady. Shady. Yes, like that. Alright, so heading into our next match, we are going to have Shady facing off against Kosalina. Kosalina going in with a Lollipop, Funchuck, and Chilla. Shady going in with Double Cracker for our first match. That is quite the explosive loadout there. Something you do not see too often. Oh. Alright, so we're gonna just fix this. Alright, we're gonna fix it. We're not going to Buster, we're going to Temple. Gaddy! No! Stop it! Nihilus! You too! There we go. No, you! Don't do this with me. So it's Temple Grounds now. I do really like how this looks and how it fits in with so many parts. It just doesn't work here because it obscures Shady's top arm. But from here, it's good. And it's like just good from here on. Alright, so starting things off. Shady going to go in Nade Burchuck. Kosalina going in with the Biffler, Coolerain, or Chilla. If we were one of the original commentators for ARMS, we would say both players are going in with the Chilla right now. This is not the case though. Starting things off, Shady going to be the first one to land some damage, utilizing that Dragon Arm Nade and that large explosive hitbox, just getting a bit of chip damage, and started off with a very light lead. Kosalina just trying to find their way in through this pressure, but is really struggling as the Nade just consistently out-tempoing him, and causing Kosa so much pressure and just stress. Shady catching her down another time. Kosalina's gonna throw her rush out, Gets a little bit of damage, but the Biffler not going to allow the Chilla to connect properly. And Shady going to respond with a strong rush. And is now just looking for a little bit more damage to get the KO. Kosa going to find her way in, gets a really nice grab, and it starts pushing back a little bit. And now Shady trying to find an opportunity just to get a little bit more damage. And that nade is going to be able to connect with 10 seconds left on the clock. Kosa gonna make a swap to her loadout and is going to try to go in double Fun Chuck to face off against Shady. Now, from my personal experience, I actually strongly recommend against this tactic, especially against a single Fun Chuck. I have coined the term, or from my personal experiences in testing, it's a little bit trickier to do with a Bird Chuck than it is a Fun Chuck, but a single Chuck can, and when utilized correctly, will hard counter 2 Chucks. You do get a lot more, you tend to have a bit stronger of a rush, but your opponent will generally be so much more advantaged in neutral, and we're seeing that a lot here as Kosalina was able to land her rush. Right now, she just really cannot keep up with this nade and Burchuck, and it's just slowly overwhelming her. Not really getting any strong parries, too much strong pressure. Trying to play very patiently here as a response. But that's just going to give Shady a very strong opportunity to land a 290 rush, and is now just looking for a little bit more damage. That grab would have KO'd if Shady got the right finishing touch there. But there's a chance that Shady might be able to come out fine out of this regardless. Going to get knocked down off of that blast. Still has about 40% health, 30% health left, 25% health, just quickly losing that health. But now ready with a rush, just needs a good read, a good setup, or just to keep up that pressure. And once again, Shady, at the 11-second timer, is going to take the first round. Double Fun Chuck is especially scary, or difficult to use against a very effective protective tool. As Fun Chuck generally has its best recovery up close. The further out it is, the longer it's going to take for it to be able to come out or return to you, which means that I've had cases where I've defensively used a single Fun Chuck and an opponent would have double Fun Chuck and they'd throw both of them out. I'd parry both of them, and in the time it took for their Fun Chucks to recover, I could throw mine out and it would hit them and they wouldn't be able to do anything. You gotta be careful of stuff like that, because it can give you a very hard time. Did I even take my meds? I don't think I did. So yeah, I woke up at 9:30. 10 happened. And it looks like we are going to have Kosalina switching over to Dr. Coil, trying to counter out this Min. And it looks like she's going to go double nade. A different tactic rather than going in with the double Fun Chuck to try to counter it. She's now going to go in with double nade and just blast through these two arms. Kosa does have to be careful though, as the Dragon Arm nade has a very easy time finding its way against any opponent. But once Kosalina does have the advantage, she's going to have a much easier time, as she'll be able to get those charge up a third nade, get that sent out flying, which is just going to be a lot of chip damage, and these smaller arms are going to be a lot easier for her to dodge out of the way of. That Burchuck is causing Kosa a lot of trouble though, and it's going to knock her right out of that rush. Kosa just struggling to keep up with this tempo, this pressure. And Shady going to be able to get another knockdown. And not going to be able to throw out the rush yet, as Kosa quickly throws out a grab and just forces Shady away. Another grab, but that's gonna leave Shady in a position where they feel like Rush was gonna be safe, but it's not gonna be as safe as they planned out. Continuing with this match though, Shady holding onto a very solid lead and is just looking for a single hit more. Does have to wait 13 seconds left to get that 11-second timer so that they can continue that streak. But Coastalina now ready with a rush of her own. And if she can find a way to get this to connect, that will definitely give her the KO. Past the 11-second mark, we're not going to have that. Coastal trying to force out some kind of positive rush exchange, expecting Shady to just be scared at that point, and Shady recognized that and went, no, and just punished it with a grab. Heading into our next round, both players immediately ready with Rush, and Shady going to come out on top with a chain of explosions, really capitalizing on that Dragon Arm and Kosa's charge state. Nades are a dangerous tool to have because they do, if you have them charged and on your side, you can actually blow yourself up with them if you take any arm damage in those cases, which is oftentimes far worse than the general arms damage you can take with your arms. Goes in for a few desperate grabs, but none of them are going to connect, and that's going to be a strong shield breaker. Not going to be enough to KO, but now Shady just looking for a final hit to take Kosa down. And it's going to be one more nade explosion, allowing Shady to take Coastalina down 2-0 and move on in the brackets. Alright, heading into, so everything's set up. We are going to be moving into our next match. Rifa taking Yoshi Bowser down 2-0. Penzo taking Yam down 2-1. Iceman taking Okrum down 2-0. And as we saw, Shady taking Kosa down 2-0. Hang on. I'm just talking to Kosa for a minute. Alright, so I'm gonna have our next match be Rifa and Penzo. Alright, let's adjust this. We got... Oh, they're already in here. I totally didn't even notice how they got in here. Which order? We'll figure out in a minute. Until then, don't forget, I do coaching. I will give feedback. I will help people. I want to help you guys get better at ARMS and have fun. Please talk to me. I can't give you feedback if you don't let me know that you want feedback. Let me know that you want feedback. I will give you feedback. Ask questions. I like... Some people feel like they are being a burden on others or pestering or so on and so forth when they ask questions. They're curious about this or that, these. Not everybody knows everything. There's a lot to think about. There's a lot going on. It's kind of a nightmare to keep track of sometimes. It's okay to not have the answers to everything. But that's why we're all here together as a community, so that we can kind of work together, communicate with each other, explain things, help each other learn and understand, so that we can grow together as a group to become a better players and have more fun together. Understand the mechanics to perfect pairing a explosive arm, so on and so forth. Yes, I know you already know everything, but I'm talking about everyone else. Heading into this match, Rifa's starting off fairly strong, is getting some hefty pressure on Penzo, dealing some strong damage, and is going to be able to get the KO off this rush. Starting off with a 50% health lead. Diving right into this next round. Rifa gonna try to set himself up with another red mask, position himself in a very strong situation. But Penzo quickly trying to apply some pressure and prevent Rifa from getting any of those masks. Once Rifa does, however, he's got a lot more freedom and is going to poke Penzo right out of that rush by sniping him right from the forehead. Iceman, if you want help working on anti-Rifa strategies and playstyles, I can help you. I will help you. You just have to talk to me. Ask questions. I'm sure if you asked Rifa, he'd probably be down to give you a couple of conversational things too. We're here together. I love you all. Even the people I'm mad at right now, I still love all of you. Unless you are genuinely a horrible person. Which, the only person I could think of that I would say that for is Mr. M. Everybody else is fine. The rest of y'all, there's a lot of people that I'm currently at odds with. But I still want to be friends with you. It's just that we disagree in ways that are frustrating and difficult to be able to communicate in. Or there's just... Gods, a lot of this drama is just boiling over to my oh, gods. A lot of this drama is boiling over into the streams now. Gods, this needs to not happen. I'm sorry for all of you. There's a lot going on. Gonna just fix up the scoreboard here. Oh gods, I made it worse. Fix. There. I wish I didn't have to deal with all the drama that I'm dealing with right now. I just want to love everyone. I don't understand that message. I'm making that a quote. I don't understand it, but I love it. Perfect. Alright, heading into our next match, we have Rifa going in as Helix. Penzo will be facing off as Mechanica. Both of these players are really interesting in the fact that both of them are very adored with their, or they have a lot of adoration to experimentation and exploration of their these various characters, their loadouts and playstyles. Penzo going in with a pretty different Mechanica from what we see Rifa go in with, but it's definitely a very effective one. As we see, he's going to land 405 damage, and is starting off with some exceptionally strong pressure and is just looking for a little bit more damage to take Rifa down and get the first final hit. Rifa gonna go hard in with the double lockjaw. This can be a little trickier for Penzo to be able to work around. And especially if he's gonna get caught by that rush, that just immediately puts him in a very dicey position. Penzo gonna be able to slip around these two attacks though. Double lockjaw can be really risky, as Rifa really needs to be able to make each and every shot count. If he misses anything, it just leaves him so much more open for Penzo to be able to get these punishes and get some heavy damage. Penzo quickly taking the advantage here and is now just looking for a single hit more to take Rifa out. Tries to go in for the grab punish, but double lockjaw has an exceptionally slow grab. And that's going to allow Penzo to bring the score to 1-1. Should you make the background pure noodles? Yes. No, what you need to do, Nihilus, is you need different kind of noodles clashing together. You need like spaghetti and lasagna. Two different kinds. You need to pick two different kinds of pasta and you need to clash them together. Like mix them into some kind of thing. That would be epic. Bepic. I think we're going via. Yeah, we're good. But yes. Remember, don't forget, if you want to improve, you want to grow, don't forget to reach out to the community, ask for help, ask questions. We're all here to work together. Alright, heading into our next match. Penzo going to stick with Mechanica, but has made an adjustment to the loadout, throwing on a clapback popper alongside that toaster. Rifa going in with the laughable, lovable clown, Lola Pop. Laughable, lovable clown, Lola Pop. That's a bit of one. And is going to start off with a Lockjaw and a Sparky. This can actually play out fairly similarly to the double Lockjaw Helix, just in the fact that if Rifa isn't making these hits count, Penzo can actually get some really solid dodges and punishes in. So Rifa's really got to be on top of his game, get those good reads, get those strong setups. Sparky is definitely going to help with those confirms though, as a successful hit with the Sparky just means so much more than a successful hit with the Lockjaw. So far though, Penzo holding out on top is getting some really nice pokes in there. And is just looking for a single hit more, a couple more hits to be able to take Rifa down. And it's going to be a reflection from the Lockjaw, just narrowly taking Rifa out. But he's going to be able to dodge right over gets the finishing touch and is going to take this round just barely. Dragons are temporarily banned. Rifa and Penzo both saw me go in, start utilizing the Ice Dragon, and as protest, they've chosen to not use the Ice Dragon. Penzo gonna be able to land 225 damage off a double clapback rush on Mechanica. Going Hyper Ganny mode. Rifa trying to play catering his movement very specifically to respond to the double clapback. Is just focused on some very strong movement, utilizing the hyper jump and just Y-dash movements to cover a lot of ground and try to prevent the double clapback from suffocating himself. That rush not going to be able to connect. Both players still very close to each other on health, and that single clapback off in the distance is not going to be able to help as Rifa taps it down with his belly. Another hit with the Ram. And now, this grab not going to be it. But now, Rifa just looking for a single hit more to be able to take Penzo down. Penzo still has to do about 300 damage on... and is going to potentially set himself up for that. Rifa has to be careful. And you see Rifa is trying to be very cautious of not getting overwhelmed by this and finds that one opportunity. Taking Penzo down 2-1. That almost worked. That rush is like unstoppable if he was able to get it out. But just the fear of having it not work out was just too much. Penzo overwhelmed with fear. He got snuffed out. Snuffleupageist. Up next, we will have Iceman facing off against Shady. This is too hot. It was too hot of a combo. When am I coming back to EU Cord? Not for a while, Nihilus. I'm not gonna... There's a lot going on just for me overall in the ARMS community that I need to spend some time taking care of myself. I'll return one day. Today is not that day, though. It's complicated, Nihilus. I'd rather not talk about it here. Just know that I do love all of you. And no, this isn't some marketing ploy to drag all of you back into my channel to help give me more traffic and more attention. Well, yes, that can be kind of seen as what might be happening here. Yeah, I got the weird monkey heart eyes too. Oh, it's because that's a Twitch Prime thing. Just know I fully support the EU community and all its actions. Or, I fully support the EU community. Well, most of it. The actions general part stands kind of true still too. But I support the EU community. I love y'all. You'll know if something's seriously wrong if I just decide to stop running EU Scrapstar tournaments. That's when it might be like, no, there's actually some beef. But right now it's complicated. How does Twitch Prime equal to Monkey with Heart Eyes? I guess Twitch Prime gets monkey hearts instead of purple hearts? I can do... What's another emote? I don't know whether that one is, but you know what I mean. Alright, starting things off in the semifinals. In Side B, Iceman will be facing off against Shady. Both players going in with a very explosive loadout, or Iceman going in with a very explosive loadout. Shady going in with Toaster Chakram, a very rudimentary, a very classic loadout from the very early days of the ARM scene, but still a very potent and powerful one. As we're seeing here, as Shady starting off with a light lead. Yeah, you are correct, Rifa. This is in fact Nuka Lola from Replicant and his epic journeys. That's going to be a strong rush, a very safe confirm. Gets the finishing touch and a second explosion. Nearly doing 500 damage off of that rush. Iceman going to come out, not taking the full brunt of that damage, but still taking a decent amount. Is holding onto a light lead and is going to get the KO off of one grab. I'm sure he will one day. There's just a lot going on. A lot of people are busy. One day things will get back to normal. It's just not today. Shady responding to this is going to put the Chakram away and chooses to go in for double toaster. I actually see this as a kind of an interesting pick, as the Chakram was actually doing a lot of really solid work. And now Shady has to be careful of the homie outboxing the double toaster loadout, as it is difficult to do, but the homie's actually pretty well designed for it once you get used to the homie and its mechanics. It boxes with the toasters, and if aimed well, it just gets out of the way of so many attacks. Only gonna land the primary damage from the nade, missing out on a major portion of that damage. That's gonna allow Shady to stay in a pretty strong position, and is going to close in the distance with this grab, starting to get some strong pressure and trying to utilize it. Utilize that rush pressure just to really force Iceman into some rough positions, and that's going to be a very safe and very rewarding rush as Shady brings the score to 1-1. Heading into our next round, Iceman gonna switch over, puts the homie away, and is gonna look for a little bit more wider coverage with that Tri-Blast. Another arm that can arguably struggle against the Toaster, but also can just approach in a way that Toasters can sometimes really struggle with. Starting things off, Iceman holding on to a light lead. Shady very close to getting a couple of strong punishes, and is going to try to set up for a punish there, but it's going to be Iceman coming out on top for the 290 damage rush. And a quick knockback with another blast. Another explosion taking Shady out of that rush and just continuing to blast Shady down. Really struggling to find a way in to get some damage. I don't think Iceman's been hit once yet. Just narrowly dodging out of the way of another attack. Iceman continually just weaving between these shots, but is finally going to get knocked down. A quick 1-2 as both players charge up for a second rush. That is potentially a shield breaker and is going to be able to pierce right through. Iceman going to take the first game. Alright, just updating on some of the lower brackets. Coastalina was able to take Alumento down 2-1 and is currently facing off against Okram. Yam, taking Mr. Christie down 2-0, has moved over to take Yoshi Bowser down 2-0 and is now advanced over to match 14, which will be where Yam will face off against either Iceman or Shady. And whoever is victorious in this will be moving on to the winter finals to face off against Rifa. heading into this next round. Iceman making a drastic character change here. Switching from Lollipop over to Kid Cobra and is now playing... Why am I so bad at these names? I know who it is. Y'all know who it is. Who it be. He's going in with a Ram Guardian. Junior, thank you. From the Shrimp Squad way back in the day. Shady going in, sticking with the, going back to the Min, going with the Burchuck nade here, and utilizing the Burchuck as the Dragon Arm. This is going to be a very interesting pick. It's going to allow Shady to have a lot more opportunities, some really good angles to be able to reach in there. And is starting off with a light lead. I love how all the players are just experimenting and playing all the different ways. When we go to play ran up row. Ran up row. Eventually. That is going to be a strong rush on Iceman's end. Connects for 345. And that's going to put him in a light advantage. Has to be careful though. Ends up getting caught by the grab, but the Guardian saving him in the nick of time. A good read on Shady's part, recognizing the Guardian's deployment, and is going to leap right over it. Gets the freeze and is going to start some strong tempo. Iceman struggling to keep up with this right now. Is going to quickly get knocked into the grid and is now just frames away from getting KO'd. Shady wanting to play very safely here, as any mistake could easily result in Junior Iceman getting that hit, and is going to take the round from a slightly aggressive play. Iceman or Shady maybe a little too aggressive there. Might have wanted to recognize that they had a solid health advantage and just needed to play things out. Junior going to be able to start off with a very strong rush and some intense pressure. Shady really struggling to work out from this. Gets the parry off of that shield and he's trying to find a way in, but that Guardian just blocking everything down alongside with that Ram. This Cracker really struggling in this match right now, as Iceman just has so much weight and girth advantage over this tiny light Cracker. And Shady struggling to find any way to get any damage so far. Finally finds a way and gets that Cracker hit. You can it, Ripa. Tries to go in for the rush. It's going to be able to connect for 155. And that's going to give Shady an opportunity to get that Dragon Arm charged up. But has to be careful of this rush. Was not ready for that Ram. And that's going to allow Junior Iceman. It says Iceman. Iceman to move on in brackets. Rifa entered the ring. I'm not embarrassed. You're embarrassed. Shady actually had a shot in that. Gaddy, I will burn you into a wafer thin crisp. My foot is cramping now because of you. Shady was really close to being able to take that. Just to quickly cover that moment again. If we had replays, I'd probably throw up a replay, but we don't, so cool. But basically what happened there was Shady had a solid health lead, just needed to make sure that they didn't get hit by anything. And they chose to continue to play aggressively, and that just allowed Iceman to get the punish and was able to take the lead. This is not finals, this is winner finals. Very different. Whoever takes this is going to be moving on to Grand Finals and will be in the advantage state. I'm gonna fix this a little bit. There. More center. Starting things off, Iceman holding onto a light lead here, really capitalizing on the Sparky Ice Dragon loadout that he is so used to, so very comfortable with, and has used exceptionally well in tournament and after tournament. Rifa starting to get a couple of quick pokes, but is going to be knocked into that final pixel. And now cannot get hit a single time more. Has to be exceptionally careful of that dragon sniping him out just like that. Well, I can't speak, so we're good, Benson. We're even. Rifa going to make an adjustment, switches over to the Slapamander in exchange of the Megaton. Going to give him a little bit more aim, a little bit more opportunities to catch Iceman's movement, but now he's going to be a lot more vulnerable to just straightforward attacks that Iceman's really been leaning hard into. 240 off the rush, that's going to allow Rifa to start getting some momentum back, but quick Sparky is going to completely reset that ground. A Slapamander once again resetting that ground and allows Rifa to get back into that advantage state. Iceman pushed back into the corner, is not in a very strong state of neutral, and that grab reaching right into the pillar is going to allow Rifa just to keep this game up. He's not going to get grabbed there either. Another stun, but gets a successful trade, and Rifa now just trying to slowly build up a potential rush, but another charged Ice Dragon is going to be enough for Iceman to take the first game. Always happens. Alright, heading into our next match, we are going to be heading over to the next defensive stage, DNA Lab. We're going to switch over to Master Bumford for this. Likely hitting that random button right now that I know he oh so very much likes to use. Going to start things off. He's going to go in with Buff Retorture. This can be a really interesting tactic. It can struggle a little bit against that Ice Dragon, but he might be able to get some nice pokes around it and that Sparky if he just gets his aim right. The buff going to be a strong defensive tool as whenever it's charged, it's just such a large, beefy arm. And Iceman really going to be struggling to keep up with it once it's in a powerful position. As we're seeing, as Rifa just kind of slowly suffocating Iceman. Gonna throw out that rush. It's going to be able to connect. Does 160 damage. And Rifa just holding onto a strong lead. Really capitalizing on Master Mummy's shield as he just stands there in front of Iceman. Protecting himself and healing in the process. Iceman getting caught out by another roaster or retorture, but does find an opportunity to slip in and catches Rifa with an unexpected grab, and this rush safely confirming. There was very little Rifa could do in that case as he had left himself quite exposed with that buff thrown out. And that's going to allow Iceman to take the first round of this second game. Rifa responding to this challenge. He's going to put on a dragon of his own, and now we have ourselves a dragon glove match, as both utilizing very similar arms, just different attributes to them in the grand scheme of things. That stun into freeze is going to cancel out that fire dragon, allowing Iceman to get some successful trades and puts himself in a somewhat advantaged state, as Rifa is just struggling to try to find his way in. And that is going to be a strong confirm. 355 damage off that rush. Iceman now just looking for a little bit more to take Rifa down. That's definitely going to be a rush. And Rifa choosing to throw it out, deals 270 damage and is quickly balancing out this health pool with that quick heal, and that trade is now exceptionally close to having an equal pool with Iceman. Another couple of uncharged pokes. Gonna get follow up with a punish of another 1-2. And Rifa with the buff is going to be able to connect and brings the score to 1-1. Both players sticking. Rifa changing away from the Fire Dragon is going to go back to the Retorture, potentially expecting Iceman to have a loadout change here. But Iceman going to choose to stick with the Sparky and Ice Dragon, just feeling very comfortable and confident in it. Going to dodge right over that rush. Gets a hearty 345 and is going to secure himself a light lead. That's quickly going to be taken away though after a quick exchange from that Retorture. Does find an opportunity to get another Dragon Arm set up, but Rifa just slowly healing, bringing that health pool back to even in the reverse way to what most people are generally used to seeing in this game. Really capitalizing on Master Mummy's healing ability with that shield. Another stun into grab. Rifa quickly knocked into critical health, cannot take much damage. And that grab is going to be enough. Iceman bringing the score to 2-1 in his favor. Or 2-0 in his favor. Oh, I didn't even update the scores yet. Iceman was 2-0 against Shady. There. Same band, same beans. Adding into what might be the final match that might allow Iceman to take the winner's side of Grand Finals. We are going to be heading to Buster Beach. We're bringing out the Friezika. Another callback to Kojara that we have seen from a blast from the past with two very cool arms, and then he's got a nice kablammer on the side. Starting things off, Rifa going to be on the back end of Buster Beach with Iceman. Having the Hot Pocket right behind him can be a really scary place, but generally is actually quite the advantage position, as that just means you have a little bit more room to work with to start. Once you're pressured though, it's such a tricky place to fight out of. And we're seeing as Rifa just kind of applying a lot of pressure, and even while frozen is just continuing to box down everything the Iceman is throwing out, gets another chip in. And is just leaping over these dragons and attacks. Another freeze. Not going to go in for the grab, fearing for a potential rush punish. Rifa just continuing to get a very consistent and solid application of pressure. Finally going to get knocked down after double Sparky hits. Iceman trying to find a way in, tried to find an opportunity to get a confirm, get some more damage. But Rifa just not giving him those chances. But the rush comes out and it's not going to be able to connect. That glove just struggling to connect in time, and that's going to allow Rifa to safely block it, and he's going to really capitalize on that. Goes straight for the rush, but Iceman going to safely be able to block it himself, being able to punch right through and deal a very light amount of stun with chip damage. That stun to grab is going to be enough. Iceman taking the advantage point. Heading into what might be the final round of the lower or high winner finals. Rifa going to switch over from the cool rain, chooses to equip the Kablammer. A very risky arm, but very rewarding if you can get some strong reads and some good setups with it. Not going to be able to get the shield breaker off, but does disarm one of the arms and get some light damage off of it. Iceman going to start with an advantage though, landing a successful rush and getting a chance to get that Dragon Arm. Safely paring down those Dragon Arm Sparkies. Rifa going to finally get caught out by a strike though, and another quick 1-2 is going to cement Iceman in a very powerful position with 50% health in lead. Rifa trying to find his way in, just cannot, as that Sparky is constantly chipping him down and putting him in an exceptionally rough place, but does finally find a rush confirmed off of that single chip hit. Rifa having to play exceptionally carefully here, as Iceman does have a rush ready, and Iceman is very clearly trying to capitalize on that. Choosing to utilize the rush right here. Rifa recognizing that is going to safely block through it. A single Ice Dragon more is going to be all Iceman needs to take Rifa down 3-0. And we'll be moving on to the winner side. Let's make sure the other ones are going, because I did change it to say not Strem. Yeah, they're going. Just catching up on a bunch of random messages. Yeah, okay, I'm caught up. They're still going through things, so I'm gonna take this moment and I'm going to give everybody else a nice opportunity to capitalize on use the washroom. Let's go use the washroom together. I'll be right back. Don't forget the scrolling commands. You can play around with a couple of them. They're fun. Let's have fun in the washroom. I can't believe that I completely forgot that this is an option that you can do. Like, we can just have this. I can just do this, and then we can just kind of watch this while I'm waiting for things to happen. And now we have content. Dashboard is, like, really cool. I like how this is a thing. It's something that I wish there was more of. Because there's just not that much of it these days. Like, Nintendo didn't upload too many things. And it makes me a sad panda. I'm actually kind of surprised how well this works. If I just used this, if I was doing split screen matches, like, this actually works really well. Like, jeez. Like, without any issues. It just seamlessly moves between all moments. I've never actually watched any of these either, so this is kind of cool. I know there's a couple of new people in chat too. How are you all doing? Ooh, 360 no scope. I'm doing well enough. I've been getting into Guilty Gear a little bit more as of late. I'm probably gonna put that on the side because Smash and Flash is coming up. And I'm very excited for that. I want to make sure I do as good as I can in Smash and ARMS. Which is actually why you might see me in a couple more tournaments here and there. Oh, wait, is that seriously it? I know Nintendo recorded the Hyrule Saga stuff, but then they never uploaded it. I wonder if that's my fault? But like, they only have JGP, and then the US Canada Open. We don't even have the JGP 2018. We don't have Evo Japan, which would have been cool in there. We don't have Smash and Splash would have been cool in there, though I understand why that would potentially not be there, because to my knowledge they didn't directly work with that. But like, there's a lot of events that they probably could have uploaded there that they never did. Let's look at some of these things. Oh, it's just showing you how things kind of curve. That's not a good one. No simple jumps. What do you mean? Alright, let's see. Oh, they're talking about don't, yeah, bad jumps can get punished. Don't jump like Moran. You will get punished. But here's good jumps. Here's good jump plays. This is how you jump play smart. See, look at these smart jumps. Look at how smart the jumps. Alright, we've got our first contender, Shady, taking Yam down 2-1. We're just waiting to see what happens with Penzo and Okra. Look at this aggressive AI Mumford. The armor eats the hit and he do more slap. Just shield and heal. And then yes, you break through the grab. Slam for 200. Wow! Amazing KO! That was beautiful. That was genuinely beautiful. Of course, Dr. Coyle plays with her test subject. Or her creation, Springtron. I'm gonna be honest, this Dr. Coyle kinda sucks. I know the AI is good at dodging, but its pressure and like smart play is like not great. Wow, you did it. How's the dashboard doing? Goof out there kicking butt, taking names. Continuing to rep that mech. I know he plays Coil a bit too. Griff's still in here. OMG. USA Gitood 20. Oh, we got our people. Perfect. Alright, and final results. Okram gonna take Penzo down 2-1. Which means that our next match is going to be Okram facing off against Shady. Shady. Alright, we are good. Alright, we got Shady in here. We got Okram in here. Alright, we gotta give Okram his seniors in art his tag. There we go. Do you agree that there should be a blinding version of the popper called the... Oh God, why, Gilly? I'm envisioning it now. Gilly, why? Gilly, why would you do this to me? Love, sweetie. I'm removing your VIP status because of that. There you go. I hope you're proud of yourself. Now you can ask people that question anytime you want. And sometimes people will randomly be asked that question. Alright, we're starting off with Mausoleum. Of course you are. Like Shady was ready and then backed off, and now Okrum's ready and Shady backs off. It's like, okay. We'll be starting off though. These two will be facing each other in Mausoleum. Okrum going in Nade Popper Roaster. Actually quite an interesting loadout. Basically forces him to be very straightforward with his approaches, playstyles, or his attacks. But that's a decent amount of coverage and allows him to kind of play around a couple of different interesting things. Shady going in with the Toaster Burchuck to start off with, which can be a very dangerous thing for a Max Brass, but as long as Okrum's getting those deflects on point, he actually can get some pretty strong pressure and damage in. Starting things off, just Okrum holding onto a monumental lead, well, a moderate lead, but he's going to quickly get knocked out of his rush. Would have been monumental if he landed it. Shady quickly setting up, is now ready with a rush of their own and will likely try to utilize it to try to pressure and push Okrum back, especially with Okrum being in this very precarious position. Okrum trying to find his way in, is going to get knocked down once more, and this rush is probably going to come out pretty soon. Shady might not want to even use it, just trying to blast Okrum down before it's even an opportunity, and is going to be able to do so. That's the power of a rush, is just not even using it. Just, you're able to scare your opponents so well sometimes that they'll just go from full to zero because you just have rush. Heading into this next round, Okrum switching one of the nades over for a popper. Can cover a little more range. It's going to struggle a little bit against the Burchuck and Booster, but can allow for some really nice opportunities, some good windows. If he finds ways to make it work around, it can really work out well. Okrum choosing to throw out his rush as soon as he got it, which is going to allow him to start with a 50% health lead, but it's taken a lot of arm damage, and Shady trying to close into this distance, start capitalizing on this rush pressure once more, and is going to choose to use it here, dealing 280 damage and balancing out these health pools. Now though, Okrum no longer has to worry about it, but does get disarmed. He doesn't have to worry about that rush pressure anymore, but Shady's still applying an immeasurable amount of pressure and is just really pushing Okrum back against the wall. Finally finds a chance with that popper, is going to push Shady back. Now Shady just looking for a single hit more. Okrum trying to play safely, not get caught by anything, but he gets the win confirmed. He's not going to be able to follow up with rush just yet. Trying to patiently play things out, sees the moment, he's going to dive right in, and brings the score to 1-1. Starting things off, Shady gonna quickly just choose to throw out that rush, put themselves in a much more stronger advantage position, but quickly gets pushed away as Okrum going to be able to capitalize fully on the popper's properties and quickly pushes Shady back into the wall. Shady closing in that distance, gets a grab, is back on the offensive. He's just not letting Okrum play very safely, or play this out in any way that he wants right now. He's just constantly getting boxed out and knocked down by these charged Dragon Arm Toasters. Finally finds a knockdown, but again, set to a very critical position, and a quick 1-2 is going to be all Shady needs to bring the score to 1-0. We'll give Okrum all of the roll tags. SIA even Okrum. Perfect. Alright. I'm wondering what Okra might do in response to this. I'm potentially expecting some kind of heavy arm to kind of fight back against Shady's close range nature. I could easily see a curve arm coming in. The popper was a really good pick. It was really difficult to get to work, but once he got it working, it was super scary. I could see a larger stage working out well for him, just giving him more room to kind of push back, especially something like Via Dolce, where he starts off with that space, and then if he does get the momentum, just kind of starts pushing back rough against Shady, and might be able just to crush him. I like stretchy shirts that can stretch and go over direction to places that maybe they shouldn't be able to. My shirt is covering my knees. It's very cozy. Heading into our next match. Okra, I'm going to switch over to the Fun Chuck now. Looking to potentially utilize that to parry out some of Shady's attacks. That would set ourselves up with a lot more of a defensive play where both are kind of going at each other. Funchuck and Burchuck kind of cancel each other out. Generally, Funchuck is a little bit more consistent and works a bit better with Brass because he just straight up get that stun grab confirmed. Starting things off, Okram going to start off with a light lead, getting a stun grab combo, and is just starting off with hefty pressure, really capitalizing on the stage's design. Shady starting to push back though, gets some nice pressure, gets a couple of strong hits, and is quickly pushing Okram back into the corner, both now ready with Rush. Very much whoever is going to have the height advantage. Okram going to be able to catch Shady out though. But now has to be careful of a rush coming in from Shady's end. Recognizes that it was potentially coming and is going to safely block it out. Now holding onto some advantage. Just trying to play relatively patiently, not get too caught up by anything Shady might be throwing out. Getting a strong, healthy tempo. Shady trying to find a way in to just get some pokes and get a little bit more chip. Okram not wanting to invest too much in anything, and is going to be rewarded as he finds a way in with the Funchuck, taking the first round. Diving straight into our next match. Both players going to continue working with these loadouts. Okram holding onto a much more dominant rush lead, but is going to be the first one to get knocked down twice, as Shady going to be able to block the rush and is now just in a very dominant position, catching Okram out with another toaster. Okram definitely wanting to try to force out that rush from Shady, as at this point Shady is just really capitalizing on this rush pressure and giving Okram an exceptionally rough time. A lot of it is just general fear. Okram's scared of so many of these punishes, and it's just putting him in such a rough place. One final bar of health. Okram just gonna let Shady take this. Not gonna try to bring things back in any way, and that's going to allow Shady to balance out the score 1-1. Definitely a very swingy round here, where whoever gets the advantage first is generally in a much stronger place. And it's going to be Shady getting the first blow. Trying to continue to capitalize on that rush pressure. Shady going to just get some more damage in. Okram caught out by another grab and is thrown into the corner. Okram trying to find a way out. He's going to accept this loss. He's burnt out. Not really feeling as much. And Shady going to move on to face off in the lower finals. Alright. Heading into our next match, we are proceeding to the lower finals. Shady will be facing off against Rifa. Is it set up? Yes, we are sold the setups. Very ready. And we are going to be starting off with an ever-classic pick these days, Temple Grounds. I mean, at this point, all of the stages are classic picks. We've seen them so many times. It's just like, I look at the other stages and it's like, it makes sense why we see these all the time. Backroom stage is just so much more consistent, at least for me. Starting things off, Rifa going to go all in, quickly throws on the Ice Dragon Tri-Blast loadout that we all know Rifa for so well. Shady going in with Birdchuck Toaster. Actually, I can see this working out, as that's going to give him a lot more weight advantage, and that Birdchuck can help protect against the Ice Dragon in a lot of exchanges that other arms might struggle with. Starting things off, Shady holding on to the slightest of leads, and is going to be the first one with Rush. Likely looking to try to capitalize on just utilizing that Rush pressure, but Rifa doesn't seem very content with letting Shady do that, as he's just going to patiently wait things out, goes in for the pokes, and is just really not afraid of Shady and that Rush. Even to the degree just catching Shady out, recognizing that Shady's kind of trying to just really push hard on utilizing that Rush as a scare tactic less than an actual tool, or direct tool. And that's allowing Rifa to get some good hits in, and safely dodges the Rush. Gets one hit by one final chip, 30 damage. But Rifa just basically nullifying the entire existence of that Rush with some of these exchanges and plays. Both players trying to find their in way to get a couple final hits. Shady going to be the first on top with that Dragon Arm Toaster. Rifa trying to find his way in and is going to quickly find it after a quick 1-2. With quick speed, that is very quick, like a quick man. Rifa gonna switch that Ice Dragon over and is opting to put on the Slamamander. Shady looking to utilize the, just sticking with this loadout. It's been working out fairly well. Is wanting to capitalize on it further. Rifa tries to go for a confirm, but is not going to be able to get to connect. And Shady, capitalizing on that wake up, is going to be able to throw out a Rush and quickly takes the advantage. Losing it though to a Slamamander. Rifa continuing to slap in, catching Shady off guard. Shady just not ready for these curved hits. Definitely has set up an approach to try to counter the Dragon and is just a little blindsided by this Mander coming in from the side. Another blast, and that's going to leave Rifa in a slightly advantaged place. Shady ready with another Rush. Rifa also ready with one. Either side, if they're able to fully connect, will likely get the KO. Rifa going to safely get out of the way though, and even punishes that Rush. Now in a very strong position, forces Shady's hand, and is going to get the KO. Man. I'm guessing Shady's something like Via Dolce might actually be good for Shady here. Try to pincer Rifa down, give him a lot less room. Buster Beach might be a good option, but it looks like Shady's gonna want to go straight back to Temple Grounds. Try to utilize some of that pressure. The Birdchuck and the Toaster is a very strong combo. But with Rifa slightly figuring things out with that Slamamander, it might not work out as well as Shady might be hoping for. Looks like Shady's going to go in with the Birdchuck Hopper instead of the Toaster. I could see this being a little more effective, but it's still gonna have to contend with that Tri-Blast, and that can be really rough sometimes. Starting things off though, Shady gonna be in the advantage, getting a successful knockback with the Charge Popper, and is just going to continue that onslaught. One of the advantages of that wind element is it's going to give Shady so much more time whenever it connects to recover, set things up with the Dragon Arm, and get into position where things like the Toaster, whenever it connected, Shady oftentimes is just too on edge to really be able to get that Dragon Arm set up. Gonna get caught out, 265 damage. Rifa in a dominant position right here, but if Shady's able to get a Charge Popper, can easily combo it into a KO if they just find the right angle. And now just a standard rush could be enough, and that's going to be it. Shady taking the first round, just going in with it. Choosing to no longer utilize that rush pressure, just recognizing it wasn't working out for them. Rifa going to respond to this loadout change, going to go in with the Ice Dragon again. Starting things off though, Shady holding onto a light lead, getting a couple of quick pokes, but is going to quickly lose that to a solid grab read on that wake up. That's going to put Rifa just ever so slightly in an advantage that they, especially with him being able to connect the full 390 on this rush. Shady quickly charging up a rush of their own. It does have some really nice confirms off of that wind knockback, but Shady's got to be careful as Rifa could quickly just slap them down, much like he just did there, and is now just looking for a single hit more. One more Tri-Blast going to be able to connect, and the score is brought to 1-1. Shady gonna try to counter this loadout, switching back to the Toaster Burchuck. It was having some luck, and it was working out. Rifa did end up taking the round in this exchange, but Shady was able to make it work pretty well, especially compared to that Popper was in this setup. Loadout. And starting things off, Shady's just constantly getting caught out as they land on the ground, jumping into the air. And Rifa now just in a massive health lead is going to quickly put Shady down into critical. Dodges right out of the way of that rush, not even worried about a single hit. And is going to throw out the rush. Not going to be able to KO with it, but does deal a decent amount of shield chip damage. And is now just looking for a couple more hits, and a 1-2 will be enough. Rifa taking another game and is one away from moving on to the grand finals to face off against Iceman and to seek his continuation of his streak. Shady really confident in this Temple Grounds pick, wanting to try to figure something out here, feeling like the spirits guiding them there to this place in hopes that they might be able to find their answer. Shady switching over to Ribbon Girl for this, what might be the final game for them in this tournament. Starting off very poorly as Rifa just going to get the quick lead with a couple of strong hits. Shady going in with basically a Springman loadout here. Tri-Blast, Toaster, two very strong arms. But so far, it's really not working out in their favor in any way. As Rifa just continuing to pressure down and apply fierce pressure. Pressure with pressure. Rifa continuing to apply fierce pressure and just suffocating Shady. Even backed up on the corner, just getting these really strong reads. And just not worried at all about anything around him at this current time. Shady really struggling to find their way in, and finally finds a Toaster, and is going to try to set something up for a rush, and is going to be able to capitalize on that Dragon placement. Gets 240 damage. Tries to go in for a punish, another punish, but Rifa going to be able to capitalize on that one, just setting up the Dragon in a way that allows him to quickly dodge out of the way and get some more damage. Shady has to be careful here, as that rush could easily KO, or even just a few strong hits from Rifa would be more than enough. Shady really trying to patiently find that opportunity. Goes in for the grab, tries to dodge, but Rifa not going to let that happen. Is going to be able to connect and takes the first round. Heading right into this next round, what might potentially be Shady's last match for this tournament week. Both players switching over from the Toaster and Ice Dragon specific, or over to the Manders. They both have Manders now. Starting things off, Shady's rush gonna get cancelled out, but is still holding onto a light lead and is just continuing to try to play patiently. Gets caught out by the rush. That shield pressure damage just so much that even after the first few misses, Rifa's still gonna be able to reach in and get some heavy damage. Shady just about ready with another rush, does get a Mander to connect, knocking Rifa down, and connects with another one. Rifa definitely in a rough place now as he cannot take a full charged hit. Only a single uncharged would be it. Gonna dodge over both of those barrages and does get a punish. It is now just looking for a window to get his rush to connect. A win confirm is going to be enough, and Rifa taking Shady down 3-0. To face off against Iceman in the grand finals. Revenge time. It is now revenge time. Rifa has determined. So we'll properly call it that. Bam. Revenge time! We are now moving into the grand finals. Rifa on the lower end of the brackets will have to successfully complete a bracket reset and then take Iceman down a second time. The revenge time has commenced. Rifa looking to take Iceman down with him before finishing him off. And we are going to start, we're going to continue with this temple streak and return to temple grounds for the 4th time in a row, maybe 5th. Lots of very, very round yemple. Starting off this match, Iceman, what are you doing? What are you, I swear to the gods, why do you do this to me? Fine. Rifa is facing off against a Maleev in the revenge time of the EU Scrapstar Series. Starting things off, Rifa getting a few strong chip hits in against Iceman. But Iceman continued to get some nice pressure, is getting some solid damage. Rifa gonna throw out that rush. It's gonna connect for 190, 210, and cements Rifa in a dominant position with health. Iceman trying to find his way in, does get the knockdown, and is just trying to close that distance. A rush could potentially be enough if Iceman gets a successful read or a nice setup and finds the opportunity, but misses the finishing touch. Rifa's still in this, but that nade is going to take him down, and Maleev beats Rifa in the round. Iceman switching. They're both players sticking to their prominent loadouts. Iceman gonna get frozen out, but does get a quick 1-2, allowing him to safely continue the fight after getting knocked. Dodges right over that rush. And now, with a rush ready, is likely going to try to close in the distance, try to get some pressure going, but is going to get disarmed, takes 80 damage on knockdown. Iceman using telepathy deals an explosive nade hit and a successful read on Ripa. Keeping the health pools close to even, and is going to get another knockdown on that freeze. Another blast. Now both players just in tricky place for rush, and Iceman going to be the one to come out on top, but misses the finishing touch once more. Has to carefully dodge out of the way of this rush, successfully does so, but caught out by the second barrage, and now is in a very tricky place. Has to be careful, as a couple of quick hits will be enough for Ripa to be able to take this, but the blast is going to allow Iceman to take the first game. What are you doing, Iceman? You're just picking popular people and being like, I'm gonna be you today! Great minds think alike. No! Iceman is legitimately just picking popular character loadouts and style and is just playing them. Ah, God. There was Junior, there's Maleev, I can't remember what the other one is. But just going all over the place, really giving us like a showcase of some of the more popular characters and loadouts. I'm surprised we haven't seen Iceman go in as Ripa. Just saying. Heading straight back into Temple Grounds. Iceman starting off trying to get some pressure, but Ripa just safely pacing things out and is getting a bunch of quick chip hits in. He's just not letting himself get too locked into the corner. Rush gonna come out, but Ripa gonna safely evade it. Takes 35 damage, exceptionally light. Is still in a very strong position though. Looking to try to close in that distance and confirm himself a nice rush. But the nade just gonna quickly blast him down. Couple of chain hits, gets knocked down. Iceman still just a little bit behind, but is quickly building up another rush. And ends up canceling out Ripa's with a well-aimed nade. Iceman throws out another rush. Ripa gonna successfully dodge the majority of this one as well, only taking 35 at the end. And a chain of chips down is going to allow Ripa to take this first round. Heading into the next round, Ripa switching things over for the Slamamander. This can be a little tricky to get that Mander to work. He's definitely got to lean hard into catching Iceman on that nade side, as the Funchuck is a very solid parrying arm and can defensively block that out just out of any situation possible if Iceman is on top of his game. So far though, Ripa getting some really good reads, getting some nice damage in there, and is just working right around that Funchuck, and it's quickly knocked Iceman into critical. Iceman trying to find his way in, gonna get disarmed once again, and then now is just a single hit away from getting KO'd. Cannot take that armor damage that he's been taking for so much. And this rush gonna come out, Iceman gonna quickly try to overwhelm it, but the Mander reaching in from across the screen is gonna allow Ripa to balance the score to 1-1. Alright, so What has... What's Iceman done so far? We've seen Iceman go in as Maleev. We've seen Iceman go in as... Hey, I could just scroll through chat, actually. Junior. Bepic. Graphic for space. Rifa is hot. Maleev is super cute. I'm not on voice chat. Words are whack. And please, Trey. Wait, nobody said. I didn't. Where did... I think Iceman's gonna reset theirs too, so we're just gonna... Iceman was all this against Rifa. There's Junior. Oh yeah, Nuka Lola. Right. So far we've seen Nuka Lola, we've seen... Kojara, and we've seen Maleev. What else are we gonna see from Iceman? Type in chat what you want to see Iceman bring out next for a potential character pick in the Scrapstar series. I don't know who I'd want. Bite and bark with clapback. That's not a person, though. He's picking popular players that have very iconic loadouts to them. Gleeface. I don't know what Gleeface's loadout is, but that could be cool. If he went Askew, it would just be like 3 roasters. I think I would be able to know what Dendy loadout would look like. Can someone play my set? Going final boss mode. I see. Double slap Helix. Alright. I thought I saw a bug. Okay, so I was at work a little bit ago, like sometime last week, and they gave me an opportunity to work in the garden center for once, as the weather's starting to get nice enough and they need to load things up, get everything ready for the upcoming season. And so I got to work in the garden center for a little bit. And at one point, I was sitting around the register, just kind of looking around, watching things, and a bee passes by, and it's the first bee I've seen of the season. Now this bee it was super fluffy, super fuzzy, and they had a little red spot on their back. It was the cutest bee I ever saw. Like, the bee was so incredibly adorable. I got so excited over the bee. I was so happy. I loved that bee. I miss that bee. Looks like Iceman's going in with the different loadout here. Oh, I could see a we're going to get a Kojora. Oh wait, no, now we're getting Kojora. It was Junior, then we had... It was Junior, Nuka Lola, Maleev, and now we're getting Kojora. Starting things off, Riffo holding onto a light lead here, getting some nice pressure, getting these pokes to really connect. As Iceman is just struggling to find his way in. potentially playing a little too distant for this loadout to really work out the way that Iceman is wanting. And that rush is gonna get cancelled out, just walled by the whammer. Giving Iceman maybe a bit of tempo that he's been looking for as he starts getting a couple of hits and likely starting to see how this loadout wants to play as he starts getting that pressure, that damage. And now Rifa really struggling against this as the rush comes out for 355, 360. A literal no-scope. Iceman a little scared to throw out a grab there. That's going to allow Rifa to safely jump out of the way and breaks open the trampoline. Now has to be careful of this rush. Successfully dodges it, but Iceman safely dodging right out of the way, really capitalizing on Kid Cobra's movement. And finally, one stray Tri-Blast is going to be able to connect. Rifa taking a round. Diving right into this next match, both players sticking with their respective loadouts. And Iceman going to start out on top, getting a nice charge popper hit and a second one. Is just kind of trying to pressure Rifa out, utilizing that trampoline in the center of the stage to quickly close in that distance. A very risky play, but it can work out sometimes. Rifa gets the knockdown with a successful grab, continuing to push Iceman back and just trying to force a ranged play. Catching him on that landing. Rifa now just looking for a little bit more damage, and he's going to be able to safely dodge this rush. Gets the grab punish in as well, and is just looking for one final hit. Sees that opportunity, dives right in for the rush, parries the whammer, and that's going to be 2-1 in Rifa's advantage. No, Rifa's advantage. And it looks like we're going to go to Temple. We're going to finish off with Temple. Because there's not enough Yemple rounds going about here. We need more of the Yemples, more Temples, and, as I was expecting, at some point, we're going to have a Rifamir match. Literally, a Rifamir match right here for you, all of you to enjoy. I knew this was gonna happen. It might be my fault that this is happening. I have no words. Starting things off. Oh wait, Rifa's the Red Ninjara. Iceman stole Rifa's identity. We've got the two Spider-Mans pointing at each other right here for you folks. Starting things off, both players relatively close. Rifa holding onto a light lead, just a little bit more tuned with these aims, these pokes. But Iceman is getting a bunch of little pokes in himself. And he's going to get a knockdown with that Ice Dragon and starts getting some tempo. Gonna get caught out by that rush. Rifa just not ready. Iceman was just more than ready for Rifa was planning on doing and just covered his options well. Got a nice punish. This is too hot to handle. This is way too hot. You thought Kid Cobra was hot? You ain't seen nothing. We got double Rifa here. Oh god. Iceman's trying to assimilate Rifa into his being to claim his win streak. Trying to go in, trying to break that ice chain, but Iceman getting poked out several times. That's going to allow Rifa to start bringing himself into an advantage state. Gets a quick knockdown, and now Rifa just looking for a little bit more damage. A solid rush confirm could easily be it. But he's going to get frozen. Sees it as a chance to go in for the rush, and is going to be able to catch Iceman out with the Ice Dragon, removing Iceman's rush in its entirety. likely expecting that exact positioning as he aimed that Ice Dragon phenomenally to reach him just as he landed. Rifa going to succeed in this exchange and is now and brings the score to 1-1. Both players dive right back in. Rifa making an adjustment to the Slamamander, looking to try to work around this Mirror's loadout, this Mirror's playstyle, and try to capitalize on some weaknesses. Starting things off though, Iceman holding on to a light lead. Yes, getting some strong pokes in, some light pressure. Both players now ready with Rush, both trying to find a way in. Rifa in a very strong position to get a punish, but Iceman sees that window, leaps right out of the way, and is going to cement himself a health lead. But now, lacking Rush, Rifa is going to be in a better position to try to set something up, but he's going to miss out. Iceman getting the punish. I have no words for this. Iceman holding onto the lightest of leads is quickly trying to charge up a rush, but he's going to get knocked down by that blast. And Rifa quickly building a rush of his own is now advantaged. Iceman quickly knocking him down with that grab and a chain of hits. Both players will likely have rush at the same time, and it will come down to a rush exchange. Iceman knocked into critical. A potential setup, any light chip hit would be enough. Iceman gonna slip right out of the way, but he's gonna get caught by the rush as he lands. That's gonna give Rifa a bracket reset against Rifa. Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves the grand finals commencing right here, right now. Iceman did steal Rifa's green color. That was hilarious. Alright, so we are in on the long haul now. Bracket reset has happened. I have no words for the mess that the... Well, I wouldn't really say a mess, but it's been quite the show. I've been caught so off guard. Don't forget, if you see a moment that you think's cool and exciting, you definitely clip it. Make sure to clip. Clips help the channel, help the game community, help this game. Clips are cool. Make clips. Starting off the grand finals, both players choosing to go all in with their mains. Iceman going in Tri-Bolt, Ice Dragon. Rifa going Ice Dragon, Tri-Blast. Two classic picks from both players. And no holding back here. Both players just going all in with their mains, all the knowledge they know. Just trying to utilize their abilities to the fullest with their strongest picks. Iceman starting off at advantage, getting a couple of strong knockdowns, and is putting some strong pressure on Rifa, getting another Dragon Arm Tri-Bolt to connect, and is just giving Rifa such a difficult time. Rifa not able to get that to fully connect, and gets knocked down by another Tri-Bolt. Finally takes Iceman out, and now is going to seek to start to apply some pressure, make sure Iceman does not get that Ice Dragon Arm back, as it just caused him so much pressure, so much damage. Rifa now in a position where if he has rush, he can potentially take Iceman down. Does get it ready, has to be careful of getting hit from anything. Iceman also needs to be cautious as he cannot take a single hit more. But it's going to be a trade in Rifa's favor. Taking Iceman down and giving Rifa a hearty comeback in the first round. Diving right into our next match. Both players choosing to stick with these loadouts. Rifa choosing to just go right in with the rush, recognizing that opportunity. Gets a 360 no-scope. Iceman now at 50% health. has to start finding a way in to potentially get that rush to stick. But he's really struggling to keep up with Rifa's zoning as he lacks that Dragon Arm. And that Dragon Arm was what really gave Iceman his advantage here. And without it, he's just struggling so much more. Gets the freeze. Gets it. Goes in for the tri-bolt. Not going to be able to connect with it, but does get a successful read on that evasion and punishes for 245. Now ready with that Dragon Arm too. Rifa has to be very careful as this can cover a lot of his movement. And it's giving him a very rough time. Does get some damage, finally gets the knockdown, and takes the first game. Heading back, straight back into Temple Grounds. I know I've joked about this before, but it is seriously a thing. The EU community has a flavor of the week. A stage of the week. You guys pick a... You're like, I like this stage. We're going here. It can be Buster Beach. It can be Mausoleum. It can be Temple Grounds. It's usually Temple Grounds. But there will be a flavor, and these players will just go to that flavor. Starting things off, Iceman getting that Dragon Arm is really capitalizing on it, getting some strong favorable trades, but finally gonna get disarmed by Rifa, and this is where it really gets rough for Iceman. Except he does get the knockdown, giving himself some very needed room to be able to get right back into this Dragon Arm state. Has to play carefully, he is not gonna get that chance. Quickly blasted down from this pressure. All this damage just chipping in on his health. And now Iceman in a critical position as a rush from Rifa could be enough. And you see Rifa going to try to go for it. Iceman going to throw out his in response, and Rifa going to come out on top with a 95 damage chip hit. Has to be careful though, as if any damage from Iceman could potentially lead to a KO from this point. And finds his way through. Another final 1-2 is going to give Rifa the advantage. Diving into this next round. I say diving into a lot. Rifa starting off with some strong pressure is preventing Iceman from getting that Dragon Arm, and that's really what a lot of these rounds are being determined by, is if Iceman gets that Dragon Arm, that's where he gets all the tempo, that's where he gets all the momentum and damage. It's whenever he doesn't have it that Rifa's just able to put so much damage, apply so much pressure, and just make Iceman's life so much more difficult. Another 1-2, and Rifa going to take the second game handedly. Rifa banning Temple. Rifa has banned Temple. Temple is banned. No Temple Grounds. Rifa is done with our games. He's done with the flavor of the week. He wants it to burn. So we'll be sending ourselves to sparring ring for what might be the final match if Iceman is not able to find his way through. This could be a risky stage for Iceman. If he gets that start, it can be exceptionally strong for him. But gotta be careful as Rifa, once he gets that advantage, it's just a miserable place for Iceman. Both players trading even. Rifa gonna start coming out on top after a couple of quick exchanges. And now Iceman just struggling to try to find his way in. Switching over to that Chakram is a pretty strong pick. I can see it working really well. But once again, it's another thing where Iceman just needs that Dragon Arm, and without it, he really just does not have the options he wants for this matchup right now. Trying to chase after Rifa. Rifa just kiting him around the stadium. Iceman not really effectively closing in that distance. Gonna get knocked into critical health here. And any straight hit will take Iceman down, and a Tri-Blast Bolt will be enough. What might be the final match, the match point here. Set point, game, set, match point, thing, words. Could very much be that. Iceman gonna get an opportunity to get a Dragon Arm off that rush, but Rifa quickly responding and taking it away by choosing to respond with his own rush. Generally, I find the player who utilizes rush secondly tends to be in a much more advantaged position if they choose to use it right away, because that means that they just start flat neutral with advantage, neither player having rush. And that is actually going to be it. Rifa quickly taming this beast. The show ends, and Rifa claims yet another of the Scrapstar series. 3-0. Iceman, I love you. That was really fun to watch Iceman switch through all the characters. That was really cool. It actually was a really cool tournament. I had a lot of fun. Just quick little things here before we end. I would like to shout out to Iceman, showing a lot of fun variety with some classic character picks. I believe Nuka Lola, Kojora Jr. It was really fun seeing him play around with all those different loadouts and styles. Shoutouts to Rifa, of course, for taking another Scrapstar series and just continuing his endless vicious streak. Shady with some incredible, amazing, and just like really fun plays. Definitely getting really up there with your style and just tactics. Okram, shout out to you. You actually had some pretty cool moments. I like that brass pop or that Nate Popper loadout. I could see that working a lot more with some more practice. Of course, to everybody else who participated, Alumento, Kozalina, Yam, Mr. Christie, Yoshi Bowser. Thank you all so much for participating. I do hope to see you again another time. Thank you all for joining. If you enjoyed this stream, want to see more of my stuff, what's going on, be sure to join my Discord. And you can follow me at Planet Scrapstar on Twitter. Be sure to hit follow on the stream or subscribe on YouTube if you enjoyed this content. And coming up next, we will have the NA Scrapstar Series number 14 coming right at you with special co-commentator guest, Rifico. See you then. Ciao!